In Tanah Beru, located at the southwestern tip of Sulawesi, several shipbuilding facilities can be found, placed right at the beaches along the coast. The people in this region speak a dialect called Konjo and are famous shipbuilders. Their big sailing boats called Pinisi are long-distance ocean travelers that reached as far as Madagascar or the Easter Islands. Once feared as pirate ships, they nowadays are mainly used for tourist cruises, snorkeling trips, or luxurious yachts for the upper class. Building a ship like this can take up to 6 months, and not a single nail is used. I want to find out more about these shipbuilders and their musical traditions. We randomly meet a guy who claims to play the gambus lute, but it turns out that his lute is a self-made one, consisting of the neck of an electric guitar and a self-made resonance body. The real gambus tradition is said to be found in eastern Sulawesi, but it is too far away to travel there this time. I enjoy trying out his instrument, but I know that the real treasure is not waiting at the coast, but inland. Here, the Konjo speakers are different, and due to the black clothing get called the Black Konjo, even better known as the Kajang people. Living isolated from the rest of the world, these people are feared for their black magic skills and live in a region which they call the Magic Forest. If you want to go there for a visit, you have to follow their rules, which includes black clothing, always walking barefoot, and the taboo of carrying any modern or electronic devices. They know their own traditions, music and rituals, following a religion called Patutung. I am interested in recording their funeral music, but this is not so easy, as you cannot bring any recording devices, and this music is so sacred that it normally is not shared with outsiders. For the recording, the musicians have to leave the magic forest, and we also have to get the allowance of the spiritual leader called Amatoa. The last time he agreed on such a recording was more than 30 years ago, so I am not sure if he will agree again. Anyway, we enter the magic forest and visit the Amatoa. And to make a long story short, he fortunately agrees on the recording. So after the painful barefoot walk to his home, we can bring the musicians to a house right at the entrance of the magic forest and start recording. What we are about to hear is not the ritual music for the funeral, but the music which gets performed for the arriving guests. Starting with an instrumental greeting, the two bassing flutes try to play in unisono. And like the Lalove flute in Palu, here we also find a duet, consisting of master and student. When the ladies start to sing, one can notice that they always try to cover their mouth with their left hand. This way, the voices totally blend in and mix with the sound of the flutes, and the lyrics are hardly heard. This is happening intentionally, as the flutes and the voices are supposed to sound like one voice, even if it is 4 people who perform here. I was told later that whenever Kajang people hear this music, they cannot help but feel sadness and grief, or even end up in tears, as this sound of the flutes and voices is always only heard if somebody died. For my Western ears, the music doesn't really sound sad, but the connotation of the Kajang is different. People always connect this sound with grief, because they know that this only happens if somebody died. And this is also the reason why normally the amateur doesn't agree on recordings. Why should he make his people or the musicians feel artificially sad for no reason? Even the musicians told me that performing this music always raises a bitter mood, which is irritating if it happens just for a recording. Of course, we tried to convince the musicians to give us a glimpse on the ritual music for the funeral, but the musicians denied. Like the other flute music I recorded in Sulawesi, the sound is believed to call special ghosts who can get very angry if they have to appear for no reason. So, if you play this music just for fun, you will have to get rid of these ghosts in another ritual. Otherwise, you will have bad luck and a lot of other problems. Sitting here recording the sacred music of people who normally avoid every contact with the world outside their magic forest is truly one of the highlights of my journey in Sulawesi. Keeping in mind that this didn't happen for over 30 years, also the musicians feel how special this moment might be. And finally, let me try out their instruments. On our way back, we randomly find a wedding ceremony on the street and decide to stop for a closer look. We are lucky again, because in this moment the groom is moving into the household of his wife and gets a ritual greeting involving a special dance. The knife being held here is called badik, and almost everyone carries a knife like this in order to kill someone if he hurts your honor. Killings like this still sometimes happen. When I asked bystanders about the last time a killing happened, they replied that it was just a few days ago. After hearing this, I was happy that it was just a dance show and not a real fight. Before returning home, I spent my last days at the beautiful beaches of Bira. I am still overwhelmed by the rich diversity of the traditional and actual music I found in Sulawesi. And this all was only possible because I had a lot of help. Most of all, my gratitude goes out to Andi, Nima, Fada, who put great effort in traveling all over Sulawesi with me and giving me important contacts. Without you, this journey would not have been possible. In Palu and Majene, I learned a lot from my colleague Palmer Keen, a musicologist who lives in Indonesia and knows more about the music here than anyone else. Of course, there is still much more to discover. May it be the Kulintang music of the north, the singing battles in Selayar Islands, or the Gambus lute music in eastern Sulawesi. So, hopefully, one day I will be able to come back and start another musical journey here in Sulawesi.